What's good, YouTube? Do a little housekeeping here. I'm gonna get some water. Give me 1 second. Grabbing a drink. We gonna get into it. We gonna get into it. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. I'm on my way, y'all. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Oh man, y'all, it has been a crazy week. Um, all of the topics, all of the things that have been going on in the world have been absolutely nuts. I feel like we're still staying in the vein of relationship dynamic topics. And even when we're not in that vein or in that sort of sector, it seems like somehow all of our news gets filtered. Oop. Give me a second. I just feel like it gets sectored into this woman versus man thing, and I think it's pretty sad. Live now. Pull up. Sorry, now I'm doing all my little morning announcements. And I think it was really unfortunate. I think it's really unfortunate that's the case. I think I don't know what forces are at play right now, but it definitely feels like there are some forces at play that are really trying to highlight this man versus woman thing. And in the topic of Carlee Russell, I think this is the latest bit of news that has come up that is actually pretty sad. Really, no matter how you slice it, is pretty sad. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, hopefully you do know already, Carlee Russell was reported missing. I want to say it was about a couple days ago. She was reported missing. And the story was that Carlee Russell was abducted while trying to get notifications. The story was that Carlee Russell was abducted while trying to basically save a baby that she had seen on the side of the road. Carlee Russell was from Hoover, Alabama, relatively small town. But yeah, the story was that she was abducted. Shortly after that story had circulated, made national news, it was reported, much to all of our joy, that she was found and was back home with her family. Now, I reposted that she was found. I'm not one of the people that sees news like this. I mean, because we see it so often, right? I'm never a person that sees news, whether it be from a woman or a man, and is skeptical about it. I think, in fact, if you hear a missing persons report, most decent human beings would see it and go, oh, that's very sad. Let me repost. Let me bring notification or awareness to this, right? And so when it came to the Carlee Russell missing report, that was exactly what I did there. And so when she was found, for a lot of people, and as a dad, person is kind of working, doing his thing, I don't really have a lot of time to read much further than the headlines and a little bit of the context that people provide on Twitter. You guys see Twitter here in the background. Actually, let me do something real quick. Give me 1 second, y'all. There you go. You can see here Twitter in the background, just everyone's feedback on it. But a lot of people, it seemed like there was skepticism, right? It seemed like once she was found, it seemed like a lot of people had skepticism. A lot of people had doubts based on the details that were coming out about it. For me, I mean, when you're talking about a missing person, I'm not of the belief that even when the details are a little murky, even when the details are a little odd, it's really worth the benefit, or it even has any benefit to look into it with any sort of skepticism. Why? Because there's millions of Black women that go missing or have gone missing that have not been reported. It's a huge thing going on in all over the world, whether it be the sex trade or just the abduction and violence towards women. So there's usually not a huge value prop to being able to look at these things with skepticism, right? There's usually no benefit. But there were a lot of people that looked at it with skepticism when she was found. I was happy. I made the retweet and just kind of went about my day. What we found out yesterday with the press conference, it pretty much reveals that most of what was told originally in the story by Carlee Russell was either a lie or just not something that could be proven by the police department. So what ended up coming out, some of the information that came out were some of her searches. Some of the searches that she had made, some things like, well, how much does it cost for an Amber Alert? How do you get money out of a register? Basically questions that would lead, the police department and other individuals to believe that, this is probably a person that's trying to stage an event. This is probably somebody that's trying to stage, a missing persons report, right? There were some other details here. We're going to find these now on Twitter. I want to kind of look at oh gosh, you can see here all over Twitter. People are letting her have it right now. Just look at these. The Pinocchio, read what Carlee apparently tweeted an hour before she vanished. Today was a great day. God be looking out. I'm telling you. I don't know what these are, so I don't want to play them because I'm not trying to, perpetuate any foolishness here. Her parents appeared on NBC Today on Tuesday and said she was abducted. She definitely fought for her life. There were moments when she physically had to fight for her life, and there were moments when she had to mentally fight for her life, Robinson Russell said. I think at this point, because of how nasty the news circulating around it is, I've sort of just wiped my hands clean of it. I was sort of looking forward to some people here in the chat sort of giving me a little bit more information on it. I'm looking now. It's actually a good thing nobody was dumb enough to go to the hotel room. He would probably be in prison because that's the first thing they check for. Apparently there was some mention of a Red Roof Inn. A lot of people were saying that she wasn't actually missing. The alleged accusations were out there that, she was having a getaway with some other dude, there's a lot of stuff that was circulating. I don't think anybody really knows the truth, but you can see here some of the tweets. So Carlee Russell is wilderness trained to navigate the deep woods with no water, no light source, no shoes, no defense, but with food sources that attract wildlife in 95+ degree weather, only to return hydrated after dodging our premier law enforcement for 2 days. Someone saying false flag. Carlee Russell made up story sounds like it can be made into crime drama mystery thriller TV series. Someone said she was missing her experience, said she was missing her morals. It's tough. It's tough to really make an assessment of this case right now. Experience. Experience. Okay, I see what you did there. It's really tough to make an assessment right now. I'm trying to get as much of the details as possible, but it's like, what's really the value proposition here? I think a lot of these topics that we're starting to see all over the internet seem to be trying to frame everything as man versus woman. And I find that a lot of the people that are invested in trying to prove her wrong or, to really kind of hang her on the cross, proverbial cross here, are really trying to, fit within those narratives. Now, obviously, there's good people here that are just trying to find the truth. Hopefully everyone in the chat and, are one of those people. But, it's a lot of toxicity around, people trying to shame her and sort of make her walk the plank. And I think if she lied, she definitely needs to suffer the consequences for sure. But I don't enjoy that part. I think it's very sad considering there are a lot of victims here that this, kind of takes away the attention from. Sadly, getting some Tawana Brawley vibes. Cops reveal Carlee Russell's Google searches before disappearing. Yeah, that kind of goes to what we were talking about a little earlier. I thought the Carlee Russell case was a disaster, only to find out an 18-year-old Florida mother hired a hitman to kill her. Yeah, some things I really don't want to talk about. It's not men versus women; it's women versus society. Yeah, you'd have to explain that a little bit, experience. I think right now I can definitely concede to the idea that we are dealing with a bit of overcorrection for misogyny and a lot of the patriarchy that women have experienced over the years in history. And I do agree that there are some overcorrections. I do think that there's a little lacking of foresight, but no different than any other counterculture or movement that we've ever seen, right? There's a period of overcorrection, there's a reassessment, usually a little bit of chaos. I mean, usually we're able to get back on track. I'd say hopefully the next 10 to 20 years, we'll be able to see some of the negative impacts of all of our overcorrections, and correct it, recorrect it moving forward. Kind of goes to what I'm talking about with some of the NPC stuff we're going to talk about a little later in this video. I don't know if you guys know Pinkydollreal, but it is very disturbing, some of the things that we're seeing happen, as we near late stage capitalism, right? Carlee, yes. Oh my God, no. I have a daughter, so Johnny, yes, Papa, eating sugar, no, Papa, telling lies. So this is pretty terrible. I mean, and this is really just kind of where we are right now, man. I mean, everybody's trying to make the jokes. Um, and a lot of people feel this way, experience. A lot of people feel like women nowadays are revolting against morals, culture. But I always caution people from painting a broad brush. I know I kind of have to a little bit to sort of identify, culture and certain things. But really, if you talk, it's really a lot of social media. Because if you talk to women in real life, whether it be, about Sexy Red or like the Ice Spices or, all of the women that we feel like are pretty polarizing right now, usually in real time, in person, there's a little bit more nuance. I think right now what's being circulated and popular in the mainstream is a lot of what we would deem as sort of degeneracy, masquerading as empowerment. But I would caution us to, painting that broad brush on all women. There's a lot of reasonable women who don't like that stuff either. My wife included, a lot of the women in my family, a lot of my, my close peer group, a lot of people are just in fear of speaking out online because it's a very toxic place. Most of the places where you're being fed information and news, whether it be Shade Room, via Instagram or Twitter, aren't really places that welcome nuanced discourse and discussion. So you're able to receive information more than you're able to engage in discourse about it. And there's not really a balance. So as a regular, reasonable person, I would say of the moderate, reasonable majority of us, we're consuming what we're sort of being fed by that loud minority who tends to be pretty, really disgruntled, upset, and really wants all the smoke. People online, you notice if you leave a comment in disagreement with somebody else, usually you're going to have somebody that you don't know, some stranger, attacking you. And I think that's kind of what's happening right now, sadly, right? But the Carlee situation, in the comment section, you guys let me know what you guys think about the Carlee situation, how it makes you feel. As a woman, I would love to get some feedback from women, how it makes you feel. Do you feel like this is something that negatively impacts other victims? Do you feel like people are going to look at these situations with doubt moving forward? I would say if you are a person that understands, how prevalent, our women going missing and being harmed is, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be a person that's going to look at this and go, oh, well, now I'm going to be skeptical. No, it's probably not going to happen. But I would be interested to hear what you guys have to say about that. For the next topic, and we'll move on for now because this is pretty sad news. You guys can kind of see here what's going on. Now, for the next topic, you guys, it is not really something in this same vein, but it is a topic that was really hitting the waves probably a lot of last week. Everyone was talking about ice cream dates. Everybody was talking about whether or not ice cream dates were an appropriate first date. Some people look at it like it's low effort. Other people look at it like it's a perfect nostalgic vibe. It's simple. It's about the vibes. It's not about the cost and the spend. I'm gonna give y'all my take on this, right? As you guys can kind of see some of the tweets around this. I think that the conversation around relationships and relationship dynamics has gotten ridiculously toxic. So much of what it is, hey, person, you cater to my ego. Like, let's say, hey, woman, you should cater to my ego in this way, this way, this way, this way. Hey, man, you should cater to my ego in this way, this way, this way. It almost seems like this transactional exchange of goods and services that we're sort of debating on which person should sort of come with or come to the table with, right? The old conversation, the framing of the conversation, it typically is, what are you bringing to the table? But when I was coming up, man, relationships just seemed a little bit more fun. And maybe because most of my experiences, courting women are in a school setting or a controlled environment. How it used to be, boy, when you were interested in a girl and you would send her those little notes, y'all would get each other's phone number and y'all would text every night. Y'all would text every single night. There was like a excitement about that, right? There was an excitement to meeting this girl, liking this girl. You would almost plan your entire life. And I don't know, people probably listen to me now saying this is simping, but you would almost plan your entire life with that girl if you found out y'all had like a mutual attraction. Y'all remember that? Where you would dedicate songs to her. You would hear a song on the radio and you would record it, maybe record it with your phone or record it with a tape, and you would send it to her, right? I remember when courtship and relationships were fun. At least the process of them was fun. Maybe they ended off pretty terribly, but they were fun. And in the vein of fun, I remember, and I can speak specifically to my wife, it didn't matter where we ate. It didn't matter what we did. My wife and I found joy, right? We would find joy literally sitting on a couch together, hugged up, watching a movie. It could be with food her mama made. It could have been, maybe we was just at Denny's and we got like, burgers from Denny's or pancakes from Denny's. We could enjoy those things. Even when I was in college and I was having college relationships, like before my wife, the lady that I was with prior to my wife, prior to us, getting back together, our first date was at the Waffle House. First date was at the Waffle House. I forget what I had, but waffles, eggs, bacon, some cheese grits, and good conversation. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was always about. And I think as in society, as we continue to have these men versus women conversations, we continue to make it about what each other brings to the table. I think we're sort of forgetting the enjoyment factor of what a date should be about. I think we're forgetting that it's about a mutual connection. I think what we're starting to see from some people is that they're so jaded by previous negative experience that they are allowing that to make them callous and a little bit pragmatic about their expectations for dating. You're starting to see, I wish I could find some tweets here. Let's just real quick, let's address people's discourse on this right now. Some languages I can't understand. The big debate on if an ice cream date makes for a first date is pointless after turning 30. Too many people become lactose intolerant. It's like saying, hey, babe, how about we go out for a case of bad farts? I just don't think it's a good idea. That's a fair point. I am definitely lactose intolerant. But then there's other women you see here. If anyone wants to take me on an ice cream date next week, hit me up. Ice cream date while I wait for my food. I'm twice this woman age, but I think an ice cream date for an initial meeting is pretty cool. After 2 marriages and a number of dalliances, I offer this advice. The first meeting is a time to just see if there's a vibe. Why not enjoy a sweet treat while seeing if something's good? Yeah, an ice cream date would be awesome as a first meet. I agree. And I'm glad this tweet came up. This tweet here is actually showing you the original text message where this debate and this discourse began. There was a gentleman reaching out to a young lady, as you can see here. And she pretty much shut him down at the mention of an ice cream date. Let's go ahead and read. Hey, this is Vance. Hi. Hope you had a good day. I'm excited for tomorrow. I can pick you up, but if you're not comfortable with that, we can just meet there. I don't know why, but I'm feeling like getting some ice cream in this hot weather. LOL. And then the lady pretty quickly goes, sorry if this may come off as rude, but I don't do ice cream dates. I'm a 26-year-old woman, and a date like that seems like absolute bare minimum for me. Meeting up would be a waste of both of our time since we probably don't have the same vibe. Best wishes. Now, I'm gonna need y'all in the comment section once y'all watch this video a little bit later. Y'all let me know if that seemed a little rude, was a little abrasive to you. I've been married now 6 years, and I think that's a little, I just think that's wild. And it's not because that's her preference. She shouldn't have her preference. But for one, were you interested in this dude at all to begin with? And for two, to just discard of a potential connection like that over a request. Like you could have come with a counter, like, actually, I'm not really big on ice cream, but I'd really like this restaurant down the way. Like you could have done something like that. But because maybe you have options, maybe you feel like, maybe you didn't like this guy to begin with, you just kind of discarded him like that. I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comment section when y'all get an opportunity how y'all feel about that. But I'm with the previous tweeter. When it comes to ice cream dates, it's not about like the first date, the first meetup is all about seeing if we could have some chemistry. If we've agreed to meet each other, there should be some prerequisites to that. Like I'm not just meeting you because like I'm not just meeting anybody for one. For I'm not meeting anybody, I'm married. But I'm not gonna meet somebody, show up, pull up, even if it's accepting a meal, waste my time if there's not already a prerequisite of vibe checks. Usually, I mean, at least as a guy, when it comes to tapping in, hold up, let me make sure. Usually as a guy, when it comes to courting a woman, I've sort of already assessed that this is something that I want to do. Like there's a vested interest here. I want it to work. Usually it takes something pretty, substantial to make, disqualify the person. But this young lady to feel like ice cream disqualifies this guy almost immediately, I'm suspecting she didn't like the dude at all. I'm suspecting that she probably thought dude was, either he wasn't attractive or I don't know what it was, but there's no way she could like it. I've never experienced this as a guy. I've experienced some rejection, but over a request for ice cream, this doesn't make sense. Y'all ladies, again, please let me know if I'm off base here. Because again, I'm not faulting you for your standards. If you want somebody to take you to Nobu or Ruth Chris or whatever fancy restaurant and spend $300 on the first date, maybe that's just you. But I would argue if that is a prerequisite and you're associating effort with dollar spend, I think that's a pretty big issue, right? So that's pretty much my stance on that. We'll read a few tweets and then we'll go on to the next topic here. I would love to have ice cream date, crepe date, or a beach date with. Yeah, I feel like I don't know, man. Because of course there were women, and I don't want to, I know some people personally who made posts that were against the ice cream date. Some of the counters were like, if I want to go on a first date and I'm taking my time out to meet up, like I like to eat. I want to eat. So if you doing all you giving me is ice cream, all that tells me is you's a broke boy. And I'm just like, wait, what? Hold on, what y'all talking about? I used to be so oblivious. My nerd ass didn't even realize it was an actual date. I thought we were just hanging out. Honestly, Pierre Land, when it comes to dating and vibing with a chick, that's the best way anyway. Like you don't want to place too much rigid expectations on no date. You want to like it should be like kicking it. Like, and if something happens, it can happen, but it should be a vibe. And I was like you too, Pierre. I really, I had a lot of, girls that were platonic girlfriends. Like I wasn't picking up on hints at all most of the time. What are reasons? I remember when getting things free on a date was okay. Can't remember how many dates where we snuck food in the theater, snuck food. Yeah, man, getting a free meal. Now the act of spending money shows your worth. Remember when saving money was a good thing? It's funny. I feel like we're entering, and again, this is going to connect back to the last topic. I'll probably talk about it. Well, no, it'll be the last topic. Just about NPC and sort of late stage capitalism. I think we've sort of been fed more and more ideologies about like what lifestyle makes you average. And what makes you a phenomenal person or a high value man or a baddie, or people are more and more, we're tying our worth to money. And in this case, dollar spend. And it's very, very, very unfortunate, because I'm with you. I remember, you could, and I'm talking grown women, if you were interested in a dude, and a dude was interested in a chick, or any combination, any orientation you are, it was like you could go to Chili's and split appetizers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've known grown, beautiful women in all likes of life and all earning tax brackets, perfectly fine going into Chili's or a Red Robin, or one of those, not even really crazy restaurants, splitting the appetizer, getting some drinks. Shit, I remember going to Olive Garden. You can get the bottomless bread and those appetizers. You could split, bro. We used to make it happen, and it was like, it was when it was pure, like, right? It wasn't like I'm trying to do a job interview. It's like I'm trying to see the vibes. That's facts, though. If I'm going to spend an extended amount of time with you, I need to know if we can actually kick it. And I think that's where we're getting away from, Pierre Land. I think that's where we're moving away from right now. People aren't really kicking it. People are trying to do job interviews where they're basically seeing how much money you make. And if you make a certain amount of money, they're trying to make it work with people that can cash out. Tricking is at an all-time high right now. And, there's a lot of men who'll do it. And, now it's become sort of like market standard. I hate to say. I have a Cold Stone gift card I haven't used. I think I'm going to get dressed cute and take myself on an ice cream date. Recent discourse inspired ice cream date in which I borrowed hand crank machines to verify their stamina. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to leave this topic alone. I think the tweets pretty much encapsulate. You guys pretty much agree on what I've been saying. This last tweet, to sum it all up: why would anyone want to get ice cream on the first date? Me and my girlfriend got Domino's for our first date and ate it in my car, and it was the best date I'd ever been on. People know, y'all know that. Anybody who's in a happy relationship, anybody who is actually vibe with somebody, I think they would agree there. So again, this could just be a case where Instagram, like I mentioned earlier, Instagram is just making us all feel like, this is reality, when in all reality, it's not. It's just a bunch of loud people on Twitter talking that bush. All right. What we talking about? Jalala the Lane. Man, I'm only 27. I remember a girl inviting me out on a $5 sushi Tuesday back in 2005. What's going on? That feels like 30 years ago. Man, $5 sushi these days, boy, they look at you like, oh my God, that's so cheap. Oh. Nah, I don't know, bro. I think with inflation and, and with people having the illusion that they have a bunch of options for genuine connection and like love, I think it's sort of made us feel like, it's easy to just get exactly what you want. If you want a millionaire that's 6'3", that's a thug and goes to church every Sunday and makes $100,000 a year, a lot of people feel like, it's worth it to hold out on that, because social media and the world has kind of made people feel like you can have whatever you want. Don't let nobody make you feel bad about your standards. And to some extent, I would say that's true, but there's nuance to everything, right? Or, dudes, every dude wants supposedly the IG model with the big booty that's stacked like a deck of cards, that's a freak, but don't got a lot of bodies, but is also really, really down to earth, but she's also really, really thick, and you were attracted to her because of the thickness, but when you get with her, you don't want her to show the thickness anymore. We're all sort of attracted, and I'd say right now, ladies are taking more of the forefront, mainly because, like, people like city girls, and I think the city girls, city boys conversation. But it seems like everyone has a certain aspect of or element of unrealistic views, and I just feel nasty because real people, we don't really feel that way. That's a fact. Take social media away and life would be way different for a lot of people. Everything seems obtainable now. Yeah, it's really kind of messing relationships up. So speaking of relationships, though, the next topic on my docket was DDG and Halle. Okay. Now, DDG is coming under fire right now. Now, let me say this straight up. Most people don't want this boy with Halle to begin with. And I've been able to peep that. Some of the things that he said, whether it's been about race relations, whether it's been about, some of his tweets. I think he had an incident with Ruby Rose where they went back and forth. Supposedly he had texted Ruby Rose, or allegedly he had texted Ruby Rose during an argument with Halle. His most recent thing that he's coming under fire for is releasing a song that features some lyrics where he's pretty insecure. And he was basically saying all of the things that he didn't like about allegedly Halle's acting career, right? Let me pull up some lyrics. DDG lyrics. I'm sorry, I'm pulling them up right now. I'm trying to find it. You guys can see some of the discourse here. Basically the lyrics, and I don't have the exact lyrics now. You guys will have to bear with me on that. I'm looking. I don't even know the name of the song. That's how old I am, dog. I don't really. Let me look it up real quick. DDG song about Halle. That's how you got to do your searches these days. Okay, so it's famous. Okay, DDG famous. We ain't gonna play it, but I'm gonna pull up these lyrics real quick. DDG famous lyrics. All right, and I'm gonna share some of these lyrics with you guys. 1 second. So we're gonna get to the bottom of it, but essentially these lyrics, and as I pull it up here, essentially these lyrics were, let me share screen. Here we go. Y'all should be able to see this now. All right, so here are some of the lyrics. Fall in love, I hate that ish, knocking me off my grind. I can't mess with relationships. I ain't even got enough time a day to chase it. I don't even ask for much. I asked you to do the basic ish. Hardest thing I did was fall in love with a famous ish. Y'all kind of get where this is going, right? Y'all can kind of see. Fans all on my penis. Too much stress, don't need it. If you see me tweet, don't read it. I swear I'll delete it. Sometimes I feel so defeated. Broken hearts repeated. Said I love you. Did you mean it? Why don't I believe it? I'm trying to figure out what we gonna do, how we gonna do, get to the top. Filming a movie, now you kissing dudes. You know I love you a lot. I don't give a F if that's for promo. I don't want to see this in shit no mo. Or I don't want to see this shit no mo. I'm reading like Hooked on Phonics because of how this is formatted. But y'all kind of get the gist. Why is y'all holding hands in the photo? You know I'm insecure. That's a no-no. I keep coming back, want to leave you, but I'm too attached. Take you shopping. I'm thumbing through racks. Ain't no limit. I'm spending the max. All these ninjas that be in your DM trying to tell you they proud, but them muffs don't even know you. So I want to know how. Y'all get it. DDG pretty much in this song. I want to say he's being transparent, but again, with artists, most artists these days, you really don't know. Like, let me share screen again. I want y'all to just see my mug. Go back to the Twitter discourse. So that's pretty much it. DDG was sharing a lot of his feelings about him and Halle's relationship. He shared a lot of his insecurities, and with the context of people not really being fans of their relationship to begin with, y'all already know, fellas in the chat, y'all already know they read this boy to filth. They killing this boy. Men and women are killing this boy. And for me, it's really weird because I definitely understand when you're dealing with someone that is as loved as Halle, you're going to get backlash. It's very similar to the Keke Palmer situation with the Darius guy. If we have a lot of respect and reverence for a lady and you come out, being transparent about your feelings or vulnerable and saying all the things you don't like, all we're thinking about is Halle. How is this going to impact Halle? How is this going to, like, are you putting pressure on her? Are you, like, we want her to feel good. We want her to be happy in her relationship, right? So a lot of people are taking her side. Like, you can look at the discourse here. Look at some of his backlash. DDG is a lame ass ninja, and clearly Halle liked that ish. Y'all got to let them be. You can see here that a person is typed, can Halle please leave that man? I can't do this today. Y'all notice how women want Halle to break up with DDG so bad? Like, they literally want to see relationships broken up. Shit is a mental illness, especially when some know all their relationships have been trash. I mean, hurt people do like hurt people. I don't want to paint with a broad brush, but that, you know, that is a thing. Now, I know this definitely made a lot of people mad who didn't want them to be in a relationship. You can see here that DDG posted a pic just yesterday of, you know, him and Halle. Pretty, you know, looking like they're in solidarity, twin for life. You know what I'm saying? With the cross locked in emoji. You can see here this tweeter says, people being mad that Halle still with DDG so jokey because it's obvious she liked this lame weirdo. I mean, you know, like I said, I think people are being really, really hard on DDG. I don't know how old he is, but I know he's under 30 years old. He might be under 25, if not 25 or 26. And I remember at that age, you know, a lot of us were still trying to figure it out. And in this internet age, you know, especially as a rapper, you kind of got to play the content game. And for me, when I'm looking at a song that's talking about his famous wife, I think it's a pretty obvious slam dunk, especially if you're trying to get people to look and listen to your music. So, you know, for me, that's how I took it. You know, as a person who makes content, it's like, oh, okay, you're subliminally talking about your girl, talking about what you don't like, and you're kind of playing into your brand already. People don't like you. And it almost made me feel like it was a coordinated event by both of them. Because my first thought is, if I'm DDG and I'm with Halle, I'm probably going to talk to my girl about the song that's coming out, especially if it's implying or subliminally referencing her. She probably already heard the song. You know what I'm saying? At least that's my assumption. If we're locked in, she probably already knows. And in fact, if I'm with a girl and we're locked in like that, she's probably helping me with my brand and marketing strategy too. So I just think that's not something that people are thinking about. There's so much toxicity. There's so much toxicity around this, you know, that boy. I don't think people are looking at it like, yo, this is a young man who's doing pretty good for himself. You know what I'm saying? Just objectively. It's definitely for clout. It's got to be for clout. You know what I'm saying? But it's hard to know. It's hard to know. They're a young little relationship, a young little couple. And for me, you know, as a person that's married, I'll be rooting for relationships. I'm not trying to see the worst in anybody. I want more examples of relationship. It's like stock. I want to see more people getting married and happily married. And I think that's what it's all about. Black people don't realize that the nuclear family is very, very important to our prosperity. I think it's very important to preserving the Black community, right? I think there is no community without family, and we got to kind of start building families. We're kind of moving away from that. That's just my opinion, but y'all can let me know how y'all feel about that. But yeah, that's pretty much that on that. DDG, you know, in voicing your insecurities, I think it opens up a topic about how insecurities are being treated these days. I think insecurities don't have to be a bad thing. It's kind of like ignorance. It's just, you know, I think there's reasonable insecurities. There's human level insecurities that I think we all feel. You know, speaking of that Kiki situation, if I saw my wife in a situation where she was on stage, I might feel away. It might not mean I'm mad at her. But it might mean like, man, that hurt my feelings a little bit to see you, you know, Googling over Usher a little bit. That don't make me a bad person. That just makes me a human. So with DDG, if you're dealing with an actress and you've never lived that life before, you don't know what it's like. All you have is that you're really attracted to this lady, that you really like this lady. You might not be able to project experiences that are coming, you know, or that are on the horizon. You might not be able to project those things. You might not be able to mentally prepare for the reality of being with somebody like that. And as you're trying to maneuver and adjust, I don't really have a problem with you voicing that in a song. That's just me though. I welcome all varying perspectives of that in chat, in comment section. So, but this last piece, y'all, I want to talk about this last thing here. And honestly, I've thought a lot about this last thing. And that thing is NPC, right? NPC, Pinky, what's that girl name? Pinky Pinkydollreal. Anybody in chat right now? Anybody in chat right now know what NPCs are? Anybody? Okay, it's all good. Essentially, an NPC is like a non-playable character, right? So if you've ever played a video game before, most of us have played a video game. We've played, like let's say it's Vice City or any like an RPG game. There are these characters that tend to sort of float around. Yep, non-playable character, right? And then the characters that tend to, they kind of tend to float around in the game on the game map, and you can always sort of interact with them. And their interactions, they can vary depending on the dopeness of the game, but they kind of, you can see the motion is kind of like they float. If y'all look at me, they sort of float within the setting of a game. You can interact with them. Yeah, basically a bot. Now, essentially what's happening on TikTok is people are basically making themselves human NPCs. So they're getting on TikTok, and basically what they're doing is encouraging people to give donations, right? On TikTok, I don't know if you guys use TikTok, but on TikTok, every donation sort of has like an icon. It could be like a rose, it could be a heart. There's a bunch of different gifts that people can give you, and each gift is associated with a dollar amount. Now, as you sit here and NPC out, each gift, each thing that you receive will induce a reaction, right? You say you missed the best part of live. You can run it back. It's all good. You can run it back. I don't know. Look, I can honestly say this might be the best part of live because this is nuts, Patricia. But so as each person donates, let's say, there's one of the gifts is an ice cream cone, right? Anytime you guys donate with an ice cream cone, I would go, ice cream so good. Ice cream so good. Or if you donated and gave me like a cowboy hat, I would go, ooh, cowboy. Ooh, cowboy. Ice cream so good. And basically, it's these sets of animations that people are doing on live stream. That's all they're doing. They're not breaking character. And they're basically able to amass large amounts of money via donations, just simply going live and allowing people to control them via donation. And this is a weird, very weird, and honestly, I think it's pretty sad, thing, because there are people, and I don't want to judge, but there are people whose dopamine receptors are tied, very closely tied to the idea of having control over another human being. And so if you are a person that wants to make a lot of money, sure, capitalism is beautiful. There's a market for everything. You can jump online. You don't got to be naked. Usually, women are killing in this environment. Men aren't really as popular unless they got a lot of notoriety already. It's women dominating this, to just be honest. Primarily, I think it's women dominating this because there's a lot of thirsty, horny men who kind of just want to interact with a woman and sort of control what she does. And it's really weird. It's weird from one angle because I think it's creepy if your dopamine is tied to that. That's just my opinion. And I may need to learn a little bit more. I may not be tolerant or inclusive right now, but I think it's really, really weird, Jack. Like, I think if you are getting off or getting aroused to sending a girl an ice cream donation and seeing her go, very good, there's some things there, right, that you need to unpack. And then secondly, for the women who are in these environments that are doing it, and the men that are doing it, like some of these streams are lasting, it is like a Twilight episode. It's like a Twilight Black Mirror episode. But for the people that are doing these things, sitting on these streams for hours, because they've accepted that this is what they maybe need to do for money, it's wow, bro. It's to me, it's nuts. Let me see if I can find an example. Here we go.
1, 0, vas-y, va mettre ça dans ta chambre, c'est pas un jouet. Je m'écoute pas, je veux.
Now this is a video of her breaking character to to discipline her child. This girl is probably one of the more popular ones. Her name is Pinkydollreal. She is she's got an OnlyFans and that whole, you know, sort of the whole suite of stuff that you know typically see from an influencer in this niche. But she's taken off right now. Like she's the biggest sensation that's taken off. Here, let me see here. This is a video of her breaking character while trying to discipline her.
M'écoute pas, je vais venir te prendre moi-même. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Vas-y, va mettre ça dans ta chambre, c'est pas un jouet. Balloon. Meow. M'écoute pas, je vais venir te prendre moi-même. 5, 4, 3.
Could y'all hear the video for one? Could y'all hear the video in the end? Hold up. Let me see if I can find a better one. Let me see. Y'all let me know in the chat if y'all can hear the videos. Let me know reasons. Pinkydollreal. Hold up. I'm just trying to find a little clip of kind of what she does, so y'all can kind of get the. Oh no, Patricia, you think I told you hit the best part, Patricia. You hit the best part. Hold up. NPC, Pinky, Pinky doll. Let's find it. Hold up now. I'm just trying to find. Here we go. Let's see if I can find a video. Here we go. Let's see if this one will work. Y'all forgive my internet connection, y'all. You know, I'm in Texas and
beautiful.
Here we go. Now, y'all, I'm just warn y'all right now. This is weird. This is weird. All right, so let's go.
Take your zombie flowers for me. Beautiful. Ice cream so good. Grab, grab, grab. Pop, amazing. Grab, 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 grab. No, 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 no. Oh, take it, Blue. I love you. No, 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 no. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, 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 yes. Take your Kira, take your user, take your Lisa. Gang, gang. Grab, grab. Take it, baby. This is so cool. I feel like motorsport. Oh, boom, boom, boom. Oh, take it, baby. This is so cute. Oh, take it, Mike. I love you. Oh, take it, baby. I love you. Oh. Gang, 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 take yourself. Gang, gang, yes, strong woman. Yes, strong woman. Take your A, take your test. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, take it, Divine. I love you. Slay, huh? Oh, take it, baby. This is so cute. Take it, Laura. Yes, do the dance.
I think we've got enough, right? Y'all kind of figured that out, what that's about. Y'all kind of figured out what that's about. It is the cringiest, oddest, like it's wild. It's wild. And I think it's exposing something about us. Yes. Like dog, it's sad. Like it's sad. And it's weird because it's like, you know, as we move into the new era of civilization and, you know, as capitalism is starting to strain everyone to, you know, like I think the urge and the requirement to make money, especially in the economic duress that all of us seem to be in right now, people are saying, man, damn integrity, damn morals, damn everything if I can make a quick buck, right? And that's what's happening. Technology is making it so our dopamine sensors and our dopamine responses can be intrinsically linked to bush. And when you're a person that, and it kind of reminds me, honestly, when I saw this, it kind of reminded me of ASMR to a certain extent. Because we started to see, and I remember this was happening. I remember ASMR has actually been around for a long time, but I remember in college watching the lady who used to eat the pickles. Y'all remember the lady? There was a lady who used to eat pickles. And she used to have her mic eating the pickles or something that was really, really loud, and she would type. And people would just watch those videos. People just watch those videos and they would get the sensation, you know, for the ears, or it's a sensation that people love. And at that point, I didn't really necessarily look at that as like sad. I looked at it as weird. But, you know, back when, you know, things were kind of a little bit more regular, it was easy to sort of brush that under a rug as sort of like a niche community I have to worry about and something that wouldn't really catch on. But now you look across YouTube, ASMR, danger scratching, like people are embracing the weird. The weird is winning right now. And In the case of ASMR, I don't think it's as detrimental because, bottom line, if I want to eat some Chipotle and record and y'all want to watch it, that's on y'all. But when you are signing up to be an NPC, there's a completely different thing happening. And the question really becomes, how much emphasis is being placed on the mental health of these people? Specifically the people that are, gaining notoriety and popularity for simply, you're so good. You're so good. Thank you. Gang, 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 gang. Like, this can't be good. And because a lot of us are in situations socioeconomically where we're strained, we all need cash, we all want some money right now. Everybody broke, everybody getting caught up, PPP loans, and everybody's trying to get ahead. What I find is more and more of us are starting to gravitate towards these things. More of us are starting to, eliminate all integrity and morals to get to that bottom line buck. And I think as that happens, I think our morals are starting to decline and change as a result of the growing need to do kind of odd shit to make money. It's kind of like, yeah, it seems like it's going left. And I think the problem is because in our capitalist society, money is equated to legitimacy. Money is equated to status oftentimes and respect. So a lot of people, no matter what the moral dilemma that there is with what they're doing to get the money, they now feel, because of a capitalist society, that they're, warranted a certain level of respect and inclusion in that society. And I can agree, everybody needs to be included. Everybody's perspective needs to be, added to the pot, and people need to be, able to feel safe in certain spaces. But I just feel like we don't have a mode of correction. We don't have a mode of, okay, hey, there's the line. Too much. NPCs, too much. TikTok, knock it off. We see more NPCs, that's enough. I mean, it even reminds me of, kind of what's going on with AI, seeing people able to, emulate AI voices. I think there was a report that came out not too long ago where they were saying AI for, certain musical works. AI you can get a Grammy, you can win a Grammy using AI components. And so I just think we're in a period where we're not aware of how this is going to mess us up. We're sort of in the moment. But I think in the next 10 to 20 years, we're going to have to deal with the negative impacts of all this, Anybody in the chat ever watch VH1 where they used to look at the old era and they used to make fun of it? You remember? I don't know if you guys remember this show. I think it was called like That's So 80s or That's So 90s, where they would kind of look back at the old generations and kind of make fun of them, right? Kind of like how we can do now. Like, we can go back to the Soulja Boy era and look and see everybody wearing them big ass white t-shirts, them see-through Nike Air Forces, them half and half Air Forces. We can make fun of them big ass bubble coats with the furs on them. Like, we can look back and sort of joke and wonder, like, damn, we was doing that. What that highlights is that we tend to not be able to see how corny, problematic, or just damn right weird something is in real time. It tends to require us to utilize hindsight to be able to look back and go, damn, I was fucked up, low key, right? And I don't think this is any exception. I think people are doing this right now because economically, this is kind of where people are being forced to go. It's sort of being empowered because we don't really see the negative impacts. There's not enough research on what the negative impacts of all this stuff is. And as Pierre, you mentioned, technology is improving so quickly. We don't have the time to really produce the studies and do the work to really see how bad all this stuff is. But I think we're moving in a really bad direction right now. And I posted not too long ago, I long for the days when we're able to look back at social media, the social media era in general, and just look back at how archaic it was, how terrible it was for discourse, how terrible it was for relationship dynamics, how terrible it is for our youth to receive information in ways that they cannot properly vet as true or false, how terrible we're being conditioned to look at headlines and not actually look at the body copy of articles. Like, there's going to have to be some real life checks and balances for this stuff. Because right now it's the wild, wild west. You know, some days as an American, I don't know where you guys are from. What's good, Alan? I don't know where you guys are from, but some days as an American, I be feeling like, boy, I know they say this is the land of the free, the home of the brave, but some of these rights we gonna have to take back. Some of these we gonna have to take some of these rights. Some of y'all, I know that's probably like the least American thing to say, but it's like, you know, I could go on a rant, but as we see gun violence increasing, as we see spaces that are, you know, used to be safe, like churches, schools, parks, become, you know, now targets, concerts becoming now target for gun violence. When we're seeing suicide rates going up, divorce rates going up, the American dollar not being adopted left and right, one country after the next, when we're seeing the PGA Tour and, you know, get bought out by Saudi Arabia after the year previous trying to damn, you know, golfers who were buying into Saudi Arabia early, when we're starting to see all of these little pieces left and right, it just to me seems like we are witnessing the deterioration of the American capitalist experiment. And I fear if we don't engage in some sort of checks and balances, I don't know if this is going to be government implemented. I don't know what this is going to be. Maybe it's community implemented. I don't know what it's going to be. But I don't feel like if we start implementing some checks and balances, niggas is about to go ape crazy. And boy, anarchy is coming. I'm telling you, boy, because mental health is at an all-time low right now. And I can't imagine things like NPC gaming helping. I really can't. I can't imagine this stuff helping. I think internet needs to be like, we got to figure this out. We got to figure this out. I wish they shut all social media down for a year so people can regroup. That sounds like a great idea. Cut off all social media. Don't let influencers figure out how to make money in the real world so you stimulate the American economy a little bit. Like, come on, man. Said, man, that girl done put Birmingham on the map. Now when I tell folks I'm from the 205, that's all they're going to be asking me about. Shout out Alabama, bro. My family's from the 256, Gaston, Etowah County, Litchfield, Glencoe, in the building. Yeah, we know about Birmingham, Beham. It's funny, when we fly, you can fly into Alabama. You can fly into that airport down there, and you can look down. And when you're looking down your window as you landed, Birmingham, the only place that really got street lights. Every other city is dark at night, but Birmingham. Yeah, I know what you were talking about, Alan. I have hope that one day we'll get better since we're still in the infancy of tech, but I don't know when it'll happen. Yeah, I think we all should maintain hope, because I think hope is the thing that's going to keep us from getting to that, you know, that anarchist state. And I have hope too, because I've got kids, you know, I've got daughters, and, you know, I need to have hope. But I think it was, as you were mentioning earlier, it's like technology is improving quicker than we can correct for it. And when you see everyone around us getting excited about things like AI, and when you see AI's ability to learn, you know, it's like, I don't think we can learn and correct quicker than AI can learn and correct. So, you know, I don't want to end off this on a bad note, or on a sour note, or on a grim note, but, you know, that's kind of where I'm at right now. You know, you look at everything that we've talked about in this video so far, whether it be Carlee Russell, ice cream dates, DDG versus Halle, and even this NPC thing, there's a bit of dysfunction. There's an element of dysfunction to it, you know, and I think it's all got an interconnectivity, you know, even with the ice cream dates. The fact that our relationship dynamics, particularly with Black men and Black women, has deteriorated so bad that it's seen as low effort for, on the first engagement or meet, to not be sufficient to meet somebody and get to know somebody, to just share some ice cream. Like, what, nigga? You used to be able to just go get a hot dog and walk at the park. I need to, like, let me stop. Let me try. Like, all it make me think of is that Dave Chappelle skit. They should have never gave you niggas money. Oh man, dog. But again, I don't want to leave off on a grim note. I think, really when it comes to solution to all this, you guys, and what I would encourage everyone who's watching this video and who really wants to, add value where they are and to try to, change things for the better, is try to, maintain that accountability within your own family. Take care of the people closest to you. Try to make sure that we are, in the cases of Carlee Russell, I think we need to continue to safeguard our women. We need to continue to watch our women. We need to continue to make sure, fellas, that, our women are safe. Checkpoints, whether that's, firearm training, martial arts. We need to make sure that our women are equipped when they go out there and that they have men that are watching their backs. And, so that in situations like these, it's not about skepticism. It's about protection and making sure that we're doing what we got to do, to either get these girls back home or to bring these sick men to justice, right? And I'm okay with fisticuffs being justice, right? I'm from old school, nigga. We would die about our women in our family. You give life for the women in your family, right? In terms of everything else, ice cream dates, technology, like I said, I think it all begins with the family. Hopefully you're instilling in your children, your loved ones, the proper values, what it's all about. Teach them how to properly vet an individual. Teach them, about character, moral standing. Let these things be the forefront of attraction. Teach them, I hate to say this, but we need maybe go back to them old school days. You know what I'm saying? People need to start putting their pee-pees and their wee-wees and their little vaginas back in their pants. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it does mean, we abstain from sex a little bit so we can foster more connections. Maybe we need to, remove some of that sex off the table. You know what I'm saying? But all I say with everything that we've mentioned here in this video is start to instill those values in your family and your local community. We can't change the world, a world at a time, but we can change it one family, one local community, one neighborhood, one block at a time. So that's all I would say. It's very easy to get overwhelmed and to feel like there's nothing we can do to steer this ship. But when I start to feel that way, I just look at my tribe, I look at my family, and I'd say, do your best not to contribute. Do your best not to contribute. Do your best to, again, instill those values and, hopefully usher us into a brighter, better future. Right? I'm gonna read these comments and I'm gonna dip. It definitely should be regulated, and I agree. I think there should be a month shut off. Yeah. Shut it off. Let's go dark every month. But y'all putting up some good ideas now. YouTube, we live. Take some of these ideas now. Incentivize us though. Okay. Remember the names that came up with them. Yeah, he's like, Eli was right. Y'all ain't ready. Yeah. Side note, I don't know if you heard, but ChatGPT is actually degrading in its reasoning and other abilities. There's a few theories, but no one knows for sure why. It's crazy. Wow. Yeah, yeah. I wish I would have read that earlier. I would have went to a whole nother rant. Facts. We don't play about women, especially black women. Yeah, bro. Come on now. Community is the most essential to our development. That's facts, man. That's facts. Well, you guys, I am going to dip out. This was actually my lunch break. So, I'm still, branding and building this channel up right now, but I do enjoy talking about these current events. I am still going to be utilizing that other channel. So please bear with me as we sort of start to figure this out. In the next couple months, I am going to be investing in the marketing of this channel. So YouTube intro, the whole works. So it is taking a little bit of attention from the TPLOCKS channel, but I will be sharing more on the TPLOCKS channel as well, particularly my hair journey. I got like a terrible fade that I tried to do on myself. Y'all don't look at it. Look like I got a yarmulke on. But I'll be sharing more, on that channel as well. So please, understand that channel's not going nowhere, but continue to support. I appreciate the love. I appreciate those of you guys who showed up to the live. It's been TP Unlocked, signing out. Peace.